Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino, and we are back. Let's go back to Beast City, and let's talk about the final 10 of Beast Games Season 2 here with a man who, they call him Mr. Robot sometimes, not Mr. Beast. It's Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
I'm doing great, Rob. I'm ready to talk Beast Games. This is a very controversial
A
episode, so I'm excited to
controversial
dig in.
episode, yeah, which I thought was interesting, but I guess that the discourse is what, Taran?
So, the discourse is, I was looking on the subreddit for Beast Games to
Yeah,
be like, oh, what is the general response to this episode? Because it's a very different episode. I'm curious to see how the Beast
yeah.
Games audience is responding, and the Beast Game audience was saying this was not the worst episode of the season, not the worst episode of Beast Games as a whole. It is perhaps the worst episode of reality television ever in the history of reality television.
Hashtag not my Beast Games. And I'm not sure who these people are. I guess is like,
I don't think they've
are
watched
these
much
people who've
reality
never watched
television.
reality television? Because I can understand the complaints of like, hey, like, I wish we got a little more. I wish we would have seen what is Nick actually going to do at the end of the episode. But I mean, I thought it was fine.
It was fine. What I will say is it does commit the cardinal sin of reality television, which is it does not eliminate anybody.
Yes.
Really.
We
in this
did have
episode.
Katie in the very beginning of the episode, but yeah, it was giving non-elimination episode, which,
Yes.
people have always hated on The Amazing Race. I mean, when Survivor has done it in the past, it is always poorly received. So yeah, I do think, but the game that they played was not an elimination game.
Exactly. Not only does it not really eliminate anybody, but I think maybe even more importantly, but maybe not, like it doesn't even come close, really. Like it's like the cliffhanger is not an elimination cliffhanger. It's
Mhm.
just a cliffhanger to another thing that is still not going to eliminate anybody. And so I think it felt a little bit like it's spinning its wheels. And you can see what it's trying to do, right? It's trying to like catch up and build the characters of these people
Yeah.
in the top 10. I think part of the issue that I've seen from the audience is that like they already don't care much about who the top 10 is. They are not big fans of the character. They haven't been built enough to this point. And so trying to like dump a bunch of character development all at once in this episode with no other excitement going on was like, I don't even care about these people
Yeah.
at this point. Like just eliminate them, please.
Well, we did have an extensive family visit where it has been not since Survivor Winners at War have we gotten a family visit such as this on Survivor. And we had like a 2-segment family visit here on Beast Games, which was nice. And I do feel like that coming away from this episode, I do feel like I know the final 10 a lot
Yeah.
better than we did coming in. But I do think that I probably need to care about the person before I then like meet then their family. Like I think that it hits a little bit more when it's like, okay, oh, here's this person that I care about. Like, oh wow, I can't believe I got to meet their wife also.
Yeah, I will say this up front too. I think that having watched this episode, it will make the final 3
Yeah.
episodes better having watched this episode, even though it may not have been as enjoyable to watch this episode in particular, because it's sort of like taking your medicine. It's kind of like, oh, we needed to sort of get to know these people. And maybe preferably we would have gotten to know these people a little better along the way
Yeah.
and to this point. So we didn't have to take all of it at once. But I agree. I think that it was a large dose of medicine. But what I will say is, to maybe what you were saying, like there were some interesting things here from my perspective, which was like incredibly awkward interactions between parents of a showmance. Like we don't
Yeah.
get to see that
We
very
got to
often
meet
on
the
reality
parents.
TV.
When we could talk more about that. It was like on Game of Thrones that there were some episodes that I would call, and maybe this is other people use, like they were peace mover episodes where it was
Mhm.
like, okay, this wasn't the episode with the big battle. This wasn't the episode where this character died, but it was an episode where they were on their way to that. And maybe it was the most exciting episode, but I think it's all about getting to this destination. And
Yep.
maybe the appeal of Beast Games to the average Beast Games watcher is just carnage, 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 carnage. I need to see a million people get eliminated every single week, or what is even the point? What am I doing here? And so for that audience, it's hard because in the MrBeast YouTube world, they are hyper served in a 27-minute MrBeast episode. All of those things are happening. 100 people are getting eliminated. One person is winning. There's a lot of action that's going on. Whereas over the course of 10 hours, like it would be impossible to keep up that pace.
Yeah, in my book, this is the Beast Club, Beast Games Book Club, of course.
Beast Games
in my
Book
book, I write about how reality television is basically like the modern day equivalent of like being at the Coliseum, and you want blood, you don't want like the the people in the Coliseum, gladiators, to be like seeing their families first and like having a whole like you go to the Coliseum, you want somebody to die. But there's something else I talk about a lot, which is Brandon Sanderson, who recently got a very big Apple deal for his books. He talks about how story is about fulfilling promise, and every time that you like put out a beat in that story, you want it to feel like it's moving toward the promise. And I think that for this episode in particular, it's mostly what's happening here is that like I said, like not only is it not fulfilling the promise of we're going to continue to eliminate people, but it seems like an entire side quest. Like even like the $1 million, who's going to take how much, that feels like something secondary to the main promise, which is who's going to win $5 million, who's going to be eliminated.
Yeah.
And so the fact that we are now like a full episode in and not even done yet with the side quest feels like such a diversion that I think that there is something happening there as well, where it's like you always want to feel like you're making progress toward the main goal.
Can I throw just a wild pitch at you for what the premise of Beast Games could be?
Yes.
Because I had seen on Twitter that there were people talking about the episode before I watched it. And again, I thought that this was fine. We got to learn a lot about the characters, but it seems like that fundamentally that the audience does want there to be a lot of fireworks every single episode. Should Beast Games be a little bit more of like an anthology series where each episode we start with like 20 people and 20 people are doing some crazy stunt, some crazy game that you've never seen before that, okay, I got to see them do this. One person win, and the winner of each of that gets $1 million. And then at the end of the season, we did that 9 times. And then in the finale, one person is going to win $10 million. Like the 9 winners from weeks 1 through 9, who've all survived their own crazy gauntlet per episode. And 20 is like a manageable number where we could get like some decent like character development in the course of that episode. And then in the finale, here's all the winners, all 9 winners or whatever. And then somebody's going to win $10 million to survive this final battle.
So now you're giving away what, like $20 million?
Whatever. Well, you listen. Maybe you win $500,000. Like somebody's going to win $500,000 today, and then that person, and then everybody's going to come back, and somebody's going to win $5 million.
You're like satellite tournaments in a poker tournament. Can you give away your pass to the main match, or like sell it to someone?
I guess so. If somebody wants to buy it too, but we have but each episode is a different thing. It's not that we're doing the same thing 9 times. Each episode is like its own like crazy MrBeast video of 20 people are going to do blah blah blah.
Yeah, I mean, there's something kind of interesting there. I think that you're basically creating your own sort of all-star season within a single season by like building up the individual winners of each episode. It might feel hard to like have a sense of progression throughout until the finale of like every time it's 20 new people. And then theoretically that also means like entirely new games, which they're doing anyway, every episode. But having to introduce every single episode a full cast of like 20 people might be
a lot. The YouTube videos are. That's what people like. Sure. Yeah. So
I think this could work. I think there's something there.
Okay. But let's talk about the episode of TV that we did watch of Beast Games. And Taran, first off, let me say, once again, he never gets tired of hearing this. Taran was right.
Oh, yes, I was.
It was Katie, Catey,
Yeah.
who ends up getting eliminated. I thought it was going to be Brett,
Brett.
Mustache Brett, and no, it was not him. It was Katie who gets eliminated, and in like the meanest way. It was so.
I know.
I was
talking about how like decent and mature they seemed to be with the first two eliminations, and then the third one was just like,
yeah,
and I just can't trust you because you're a wild card, and all this stuff.
And I do feel like that had we ended the last episode with that, and again, I hate to take away more from this episode, but if we ended the last episode from that, I think we would have come on like, oh my God, the craziest ending of a Beast Games episode. Can you believe what they did to Katie?
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't know if we would have been that excited, but it definitely was better than the sort of like expected, like, oh, we'll just take out Brett, who seemingly has no connections, but actually does have a best friend there.
Because I kind of forgot why that they were pissed at Katie in the first place. And I know there was a lot of flashbacks, and they really did stylistically, show you a lot in the flashback, which they've done this season. But Taran, could you remind me again, why was it that that Nick was so down on Katie?
I believe the primary thing was her involvement in the women's alliance, that she was like the number two to Briley, trying to rile up the women. And seemingly, from what we were gathering here, it was even more so really just Briley and Katie that were kind of at the forefront of that, because Hannah and the other Katie were more so attached to Monica and Jim from being in that group.
Yeah.
And so Monica not being on board with that because she wants to be with Jim kind of probably also shifted the blame away from the other Katie and Hannah, which really just left those two out on an island. And of course, then that makes them an easy target.
Fun fact, we had two Katies in the final 11. Neither of them spelled their name Katie.
Nope. Yeah, we got rid of one of them, and then we also got rid of one of the Trevor, Justin.
Yeah,
don't remember the name. Strong man.
Yes, the other one. So, but that was pretty epic. And Nick really was very hard. It didn't just take her out. He really went after it, got real dramatic. He said he doesn't want to get fooled by her, and she was crying.
Yeah, this was a much more dramatic. This was exactly like what I think was missing from the first two eliminations in terms of creating drama for TV, which was like, yeah, Nick was basically blaming her for her own elimination, her being upset about it, trying not to be, but ultimately being
gaslighting.
Yeah,
it's your fault that this is happening, Katie.
And that's what, and then like afterward too, Monica was like, "Oh, I feel so bad about it," and Jim was like, "She brought it on herself."
Yeah, don't feel bad for her. Yeah, it's very like Big Brother after like somebody's going home, like that they brought it on themselves. Listen, it's their fault. But Katie last week, I believe, was talking about in the like Path game that she's like, "Oh, Monica's gonna keep me safe. Monica's got me. There's no chance I'm going home."
Yeah, she was like, I'm good no matter what. And she and even afterwards, she was like, man, I clearly read that situation wrong. I was kind of like, as the person who in front of Ian, after he is going to self-eliminate for you, said, I'm glad it's him. It's not that surprising to me that she seems to read it wrong.
Yeah. So, all right, we're down to the top 10. And so we had another 24-hour timer. And so we're going to get everybody together. Hey, we got a photo shoot for the top 10. Did they end up taking a picture? Where's my top 10 picture?
I don't know.
Yeah. All right, let's bring out the loved
Rob,
ones.
What would you do as a smart thing?
I think there's
do a
only
smart thing for a photo.
Smart things you could do.
Maybe the pretty boy.
Is that a smart thing? I feel like that's a little bit. Is that a strong thing? Is like flexing, I guess. That's more like brains versus beauty versus brawn.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do like a beauty thing,
brains, beauty,
smart,
brawn.
Strong versus sexy.
Yeah. Family comes.
Yes.
And I will agree with the criticism in that I thought this was too long a segment, but there was some interesting stuff here. As I mentioned, the incredibly awkward interactions between Jim and Monica's parents, being like, "Oh, I'm totally in love with this girl. She's my girlfriend. I've had a girlfriend
Yeah.
this whole time," and her being like, "I love him. He gave me a free pass," and then the parents just being like, "This is great."
It's great, right? So I didn't think it was particularly awkward. It wasn't like that. I wasn't getting that like Monica's dad was like, I don't know if she had a dad there. But
Yes,
she's
because he
like,
was upset about her being like, "I won't take $1 million."
yeah. It's like, hey, like, no daughter of mine is going to date Jim, so
Yeah,
they weren't like,
you're right.
it wasn't necessarily giving, Al Pacino or Robert De Niro, like,
Meet the
you're going to meet
parents.
me.
Yeah, it could have been a lot more awkward. You're right. I think from in my head, like the awkwardness of it is the fact that it's happening on a reality TV
Yes,
show
here's my
called Beast
girlfriend.
Games,
Yeah, meet my girlfriend,
where
meet my boyfriend.
yeah, you're being like, "Hey, so this is my girlfriend, actually."
Mhm.
I thought that was funny. And then another part that I found really interesting was Nick explaining to his family that he was like, "I'm so sorry. Please don't be disappointed with
Yeah.
me. I turned down $1 million."
My wife would be so mad. Like, it was Nick's wife was so cool. My wife would be pissed of like, "Hey, I turned down $1 million." Like, that's like 1/5 of the prize. Like, what are you thinking, my guy? He's like, "Well, I had to do it for my guys, Jack and my whole alliance." Who is it? Who else is in Nick's? Who's Nick's guys?
Tyler is the
Tyler and
the duplicate we
August.
got rid of.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. It's all part of my master plan to get the opportunity to take $1 million.
Yeah.
You could have just taken it the first
Could
time.
take it $1 million, but not in as epic of a way. Not as
Maybe.
much as you wouldn't have been a cliffhanger. Well, he would have been a cliffhanger. But I kind of thought he was going to take that $1 million way back when.
Exactly. You kind of saw him reach for it. I
Yeah.
feel like that hasn't been addressed lately.
Maybe it's foreshadowing
Um,
because he's going to take the whole $1 million now.
Perhaps. But yeah, this is like a moment that you never get to see
Yeah.
in regular reality TV of like, what is that conversation like? Let me explain to you that I could not take $1 million because like I
Yeah.
would have eliminated my boys. And how much worse would that have been if those people that he had sacrificed it for were gone by now? Like
hmm
I turned down $1 million for my boys. Where are they? Oh, well, they got eliminated anyway.
Yeah. But somehow it seems like they're all still here.
They are.
Okay. Taran, let's ask the question of the hour. Okay. What is Nick going to do? We'll come back. We'll talk about everybody else's family visit, but let's just talk about. I feel like you are the person I would ask from a game theory perspective. Okay,
Hmm.
there's $1 million here. What should Nick do? The next person who goes is going to see exactly how much money he takes. You have Jimmy and Chandler really peer pressuring him, like, "Hey, sit on the money. Come on, it's yours. You could have all of it."
This is your money. How much do you want to give away?
Yes. Yes.
I love that framing. I think you have three options.
Yes.
First option, safest option, you take 100K, you do your fair share.
Sure.
100K is nothing to laugh at. Like that's a great amount of money. Nobody's mad at you. You move forward into the next round in a pretty decent position,
Yeah.
especially if the next round has to do with social strategy stuff. Pretty decent option. Option number two, you take 250K.
Yeah.
You tell the next person you bring out, your boy Jack, you say, I took 250, you take 250. We then pull out August and Tyler, they take two. We split four ways the $1 million. We leave nothing for anyone else.
And the blame.
Exactly.
Mhm.
You can blame all four of us, but now we have a bunch of money, and it's gonna be hard to gang up on all four of us
Mhm.
in this spot. And we just made 2.5x the amount we would have made if we had just taken 100K. It's sort of like the in between of taking more money while still staying loyal to his people, right? That's option number two. Option number three, you take $1 million. There's no other options. There's no other amount of money that makes sense. The JC, I'm taking 6 whatever. The other tattooed guy, I'm taking 220. Like, none of that.
I guess you could take 700K and then pull your other guys out and say, hey, look, I made sure you all got your 100K, but I took 7 and you trust me. I mean, there's a world.
Okay, I see that.
But I think I think that's what I was thinking as well. Of like, okay, I have my 4 guys. It's not Survivor. There's not going to be a vote at the final 10 where the other 6 are going to gang up on us. So we've got our gang of 4. We'll guarantee ourselves each 250K. And then from there, like, let's see what happens. We still have a 1 in 10 chance, even if the other 6 people are mad at us and they can't get us all out in the next game.
Yeah, I agree. I think because that's if you're going to take any more than 100K, you need to be doing it in a way that is either sharing it with just your group and therefore getting a larger bit of the money, or just take it all. Don't be like, oh, I took 900, but don't worry, guys, I left you all 100 to split. Like, I didn't take everything from, like, they don't care. Just get the extra 100 at that point.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. And we don't know, and maybe this would have helped if we would have known a little bit more of like what's to come. Like, I understand if the players don't know what's happening next. Would it be more interesting if we knew what was going to happen next? Like, if we knew what the game was on the other side of this?
So last time, I don't remember the specifics of it, but last time it was some kind of like voting mechanism where they were able to use the money that they got as a bribe to get people to vote for them. So that, once again, if you are splitting now, so theoretically in a group of 10, those 4, if they split money, could be in trouble. However, they could then use that money to bribe people into helping, vote them in or out or whatever.
They would only need to bribe 2 people at that point.
Exactly. And something else you could do, if you were sure that challenge was coming, you could then include Brett and his buddy and be like, we're going to split this 6 ways. And then we're just going to like make sure that we try to vote ourselves in. Although theoretically the numbers dwindle. And so that might be difficult as time goes on. But so yeah, so I don't know exactly if we're going to get that again or if it's going to be something different. I assume, given that this is the same challenge as last time and it did have game ramifications moving forward, it will likely have game ramifications once again, whether it's the same challenge as last season or just another one that can still include bribing. I would assume there's still something there.
Yeah, Nick did end the episode saying that he's going to take the opportunity. So it sounds like he's definitely going to take more than 100K.
That is the implication. And if that's not what's happening, I'm going to be annoyed. If it's like, are you going to take this opportunity? Yes. Evil smile, cut to black. And then it comes back and he's like, yes, I'll just do the 100. Like, I'm going to be like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
100K. So yeah, he talked about how that if this money would allow him the first time that he would be able to breathe. Do you like that sort of like Squid Game aspect of things where when we find out about like just how much the money would be meaningful to the contestants?
Yeah, I mean, he talked about how he was basically like living out of his car a couple of years ago, and which is funny because I think like one of the complaints I've seen about the season is that they're like, oh, the smart versus strong means that everyone is like an athlete or like an influencer, or they're not like regular people, and it's like, they don't need the money as much. It's like, what more do you want than a dude living out of his car? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that there's something to that. And I think that like this is obviously a show steeped in the dystopian world of capitalism. And it plays into all of the darkest parts of that. And, and the dark part of that is that like, yes, sometimes that does just actually exist. Like, this is a person who probably cannot feel does not have the capability of feeling comfortable just existing, because at any moment, maybe he can fall back into where he was, or maybe he's just struggling to get by as he currently is, and getting money means a lot. Now, it might mean a lot to a lot of the other people there too. And then that dilemma, I think, is often at the core of what is happening in Beast games. Is like, how do you how do you navigate that? And it's a game, and we often look at it as a game, but it's a game with money involved so much more often than a game like Survivor, where like, there's money at the end of the rainbow, but like money being involved so often, even just allowing everyone to get 100K kind of changes almost everyone's life in that group probably. And so you have to think of you kind of might think about it in those terms, especially since this isn't an elimination portion, and it is just genuinely like, do I want to share this money or do I not want to share this money?
We buried the contestants alive. Was the payoff for what we were doing on par with burying the, because it was very epic that like we're burying you alive, but it wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily of like who's gonna crack. Even MrBeast tells us like, hey, like I've been buried alive, you're gonna lose it after a couple of minutes. So I kind of thought we were gonna have some sort of a challenge of who can last the longest of being buried alive, but we really were just burying them alive. Like we could have just put a blindfold on them. Like they did not need to be buried alive.
Yeah, and this is I genuinely thought this was the worst part of the episode. I think that like I think there were parts of the family visit that were still very entertaining and interesting, but the buried alive portion I thought lasted quite a while.
Yeah.
Especially like when they were pouring the dirt on them, it was just like, man, this is taking a long time.
Like, couldn't we just have had like a pull the trap door and the dirt just goes on top of the casket or something like that?
Yeah, and I
Or
get like maybe it
cement
was a cool
mixer.
visual to have like the worker bees in synchronous like movement, putting the dirt on the thing. But especially because it didn't really seem to even make much of a difference in the challenge.
Yeah. Oh, I
Like,
just thought that that's what the challenge was going to be of like, because
right.
that it does feel like very on brand of, okay, Beast games of like, okay, who's going to be the first person to crack from being buried alive? And that has been, certainly a common trope in MrBeast videos of, okay, I was kind of a little bit more interested in seeing that ultimately than who's going to take some of this money.
Yeah, and maybe there's a world where like if you want to do this, because I think it is a fun spectacle, although it did take a little longer than I would have liked. If you want to incorporate it more, maybe there's something where you are like, there was the guy that was like, if there are bugs in here, I'm out. Like,
Yeah.
maybe you're piping in some bugs. Like maybe after every choice, every person you pull out, you make it harder for the people in there. This might genuinely get like too aggressive. Like I don't know what the rules are for
Yeah.
doing this to people. But like then if you bow out, you don't get your share of you don't get to take a share of the money. So you have to like
Right.
stay in there. And the longer you have to
Okay.
stay in there, the worse things get.
So what if we start with, okay, here's Nick, and to go into the money room, he has to like punch a ticket. Okay. But if he chooses to go into the money room, but then
Mm,
that's gonna unleash some punishment on the
right. Yeah.
people
Yeah.
in there. So he's like, yeah, I gotta get mine. I gotta get
Hmm.
mine. And now all of a sudden now, like here's like you know, a cockroach is now one Madagascar cockroach has now been released into your thing.
Yeah, and you don't get to know if people bowed out either. So like there's maybe a little bit of
Yeah.
uncertainty of like if you don't claim all of the money, then that money goes
Hmm.
unclaimed. So it's like, well, surely somebody bowed out, so I might as well take a little bit extra, because I don't want it to go to waste.
Hmm.
And you got all kinds of stuff there too.
So okay, that's Nick's decision. We'll go back to talking about everything. We got a lot of Brett and Corey in this episode. Are you bought in on Brett and Corey?
They kind of came out of nowhere,
Yeah,
for me at least. They
best
kind of propped
friends.
up Brett as this like loner wild card, and then all of a sudden he has a best bud, and I was like, oh, I guess he's not that much of a wild card.
Hmm.
Um, but I did appreciate one of the things I did like about the episode was that they really gave us the lay of the land. Here's this group of four, and here's Brett and his bud
Voting
sitting in the
block.
middle as swing votes. And I was like, that's fun. And it was cool to like know that lay of the land and get a sense of why the vote ended up happening the way that it did. Although I will say, I thought the reasoning for their vote was terrible. Because we get this thing where it's like Monica versus Nick, who's going to be the captain. And they are the swing votes, the two of them. They're going to decide which one goes in which direction. Monica's saying, I have the coin. Let me sit out and be safe, because they thought at this point, captain will be safe for sure. Captain will probably be able to choose other people that will be safe. And their logic was, well, Monica, since you have the coin, if we give safety to Nick, he will choose to protect you for sure. Therefore, you'll both be protected. At which point I was like, where does that leave you? You don't want extra people being protected. If Monica's guaranteed to be protected, then give her the guaranteed protective spot. Like, don't be like losing seats in the protected area.
I felt like that they were just trying to, like, they really wanted to go with Nick, and they wanted to like, but Monica, don't be mad at us. We're doing this to also for your safety also. But I think they were just sort of like a little bit just trying to sell her on that. But ultimately, they wanted to throw in with the four guys.
I agree, but I think even voicing that kind of puts pressure on Nick to then follow through and protect, because I think it's probably true. Nick will protect Monica for the coin, which means Nick is protecting his three for sure, plus Monica.
Well, I don't even get the sense that it is the setup where, okay, that there is Nick's four people that we talked about, and then on the other side, Monica and Jim and the other. I feel like Monica and Jim are still like they're 5 and 6 with the alliance of four. The other two women, the Katie and whoever the other woman is, they're kind of on their own.
The fact that Nick was like, well, I just found out that at least two people, Katie and Hannah, don't like me. I get what Jim had to do because you got to do what you got to do for Monica. But Katie and Hannah, I was like, what?
Yeah. So I feel like there's a 6-person alliance, and it's Monica and 5 guys. And then there's then the 2 other women are SOL. And then Brett and Corey are trying to act like, oh, we're part of the 4. But they're really not.
Yeah.
They're 7 and 8 in a 6-person alliance.
Seems like it.
Seems like it. So we spent a lot of time is it Tyler, the Air Force pilot? They built him up a lot this week.
Yeah, the guy with the kids who came, and he was like having a bunch of moments with his kids.
Could he be our winner? You think that could be?
I mean, we certainly got to know him better. So I think it's possible. I mean, obviously, I think Nick and Monica are the big characters right now, but they're the big characters for a reason. They just eliminated people. They were just the 2 people doing the votes. Jim, obviously a big character attached to Monica in a showmance. It did seem like non-strongman Tyler, Air Force guy Tyler, was one of the people that was getting a lot of seemingly unnecessary content. So
he's a pretty strong man for being not strongman Tyler.
It's true. Yeah.
But that was one of the things that came out of the family visit. He really got a lot of airtime in the family visit. Also, August with an E got to tell his wife that, hey, babe, I got Starbucks for life.
That was good payoff. I thought that was good payoff. The fact that he mentioned it when it happened, and then you get to have the moment of her reacting to it.
Yeah,
it's good payoff that ties into a sponsorship as well. So I think if you're able to make sponsorship stuff into even halfway decent content, it's pretty good.
Yes. Were you pumped up when everybody got T-Mobile for a year?
No, did not care about that. That was not halfway decent content.
Babe, we got T-Mobile for a year. Can you believe it? We're in the Magenta Club now.
Yeah.
Well, what does that do? I don't know. It sounds good, but I don't really know what it is. Magenta Club.
I want to be in the club, I guess.
I guess so.
Better than Club Condo, maybe.
Yeah. Jack, I can't. I'm still mad at him for what he did to Sue.
I liked this idea that those 4 dudes were like, let's keep our alliance like on the down low. And then in the same episode, when their families come, they're like, we're like twins. We have the same
Yes.
last name. And then like they're like all voted for Nick, and like it's more than obvious like that they were all aligned. I thought that was.
Yeah.
But I was like, look at this emergent gameplay in Beast games. They're trying to do a secret alliance.
Secret alliance. Yeah. Monica was upset they didn't give her a diaper. Again, this is I kind of wanted to see how long they could stay in the thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting the sense they're not going to be there that long. Would you have eaten the Feastables when you were in there?
I mean, I'm not a big candy guy, to be honest.
That's right. You don't like chocolate.
I would have eaten the Beast sticks or whatever.
Yes. The
Beastables.
Yes. So that would have been a nice perk for when the kids came of like, hey, kids, have all the Feastables you want.
I mean, so when it comes to this like challenge too, this idea of like you can take money, you're right that like what happens is you're essentially told the order in which you come out. But given the fact that they are buried alive, this might have been made more well, granted, Nick might just take the money anyway. But if you really wanted to like allow it to be anonymous, you would not tell them the order that they came out, and instead be like you might be the last person, you might be the second person, and therefore it's a lot more hidden, you know, theoretically how much money anybody took. Granted, you know, if you are in Nick's alliance and all the money's gone, you're like, okay, so somebody, you didn't choose me last.
Nick's kind of in a tight spot because if he does take the $1 million and the second person he pulls out like is going to be like, you took the $1 million, Nick.
Yeah. And he's going to have to, like, every single person that comes out, he's going to have to answer to that.
Yeah. So everybody will be pissed. But again, if you got the $1 million, like at what point, like, is it like, okay, well, that was worth it. Even if he's the next person to go home, like I'm not into like pot odds and anything in terms of like playing poker. But if you could clear 1/5 of the prize at this point out of the final 10, like that feels like pretty good odds. Like you have a 1 in 10 shot at the 5 million, or you could just take 20% of the prize. Again, I'm not a poker guy, but that seems like that is probably a winning equation.
And if you really, really cared about like the people in the top 10, like how much they like you after that, you really wanted them to like, you could be like, listen, this was essentially me taking a bribe to eliminate. I like Ian before me. You know, I'm happy to like bow out now. In the next challenge, you have, you know, a slightly higher % chance of winning the game now.
Okay. Only 3 episodes left of Beast Games till we get down to it. So how many people do you think will be left in after episode 8 is over?
I mean, we have to eliminate some people. So I would say that like, I wouldn't be mad if we're down to like 8 or 6 or something. You know, I think you want to be down to like the top 5 or 3 by episode 9 to 10.
Yeah. So I think 4 seems like or 5 seems like a lot of people to eliminate. So maybe we eliminate like 3 in the next episode and get down to 7, like and then get down to like 4 in the finale, 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, I could see going down to like 6. You know, in the next challenge, and then have that like final bit of like top 6 down to top 3 down to top 2 kind of thing.
You want to do draft at the final 10?
Sure.
Okay, snake draft. Okay, that we don't have to overthink it. I'll give you the first pick.
I think first pick off the board has to be. I think it has to be Nick right now.
Nick to win the game.
Oh man, if he takes the $1 million, maybe a lot less so. Maybe I was thinking between Nick and Monica, but Monica might actually flip the coin, and I'm still not sure if that could potentially eliminate her.
I think she still gets to stay. I do.
All right, I'll take Monica then.
I think that is the right pick for number 1. Okay, so I'll go. I get 2 picks in a row. Man. I'm gonna say I really started to feel good about Tyler in this episode, so I'll take him as one of my 2 picks here, and then I'm also gonna say I'm gonna say Jim. I don't feel good
Jim.
about it. All right, you go.
Okay.
2 in a
Well,
row.
at this point, I think I'll take Nick.
Take Nick.
And I'm with you on Jim. I feel like it's a definite possibility. I'll take Nick, and I'll also take I'll take Jack.
Jack.
Boy genius.
Okay. Then give me also there's one guy left out of the Alliance of Four. Give me Brett and Corey though.
The two middlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess I'll take August at that point then.
Okay. And then you got one of the other straggler women.
And then I'll take Katie over Hannah because Hannah turned down $1 million and we still barely know who she is.
Okay. And I get Hannah, who I do think is the least visible of the 10 people left.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There you go. All right. So we'll be back next week talking about episode 8 of Beast Games. Taran, what else is coming up for you?
Just, hanging out. Survivor's coming up. So I'll be streaming, watching Survivor when it airs on Twitch. And I'm also got a Patreon where I'm watching a bunch of shows. I've got a book called Behind the Mirror about Big Brother. And I also just talked to the Jet Lag guys about season 16, Hide and Seek.
Yes. What are they doing new for Jet Lag season 16?
Season 16, they played hide and seek across the UK. It was actually a very fun season. I thought one of their better seasons. Don't worry about the fact that it's season 16. Every season is basically, its own reset. You don't need to know the lore. And next season, season 17, they're going to Taiwan, and they said that it was very nice there.
Okay. All right. Well, check out everything else we have going on RHAP, The Traders, season 50 of Survivor as well. Lots of preseason content, so check it all out. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye. This is RHAP. We know reality TV.